In the early days of Minecraft, there used to be a channel named FV Disco. Disco used to make some of the most ridiculous redstone instruments in games. One of his earliest games was called Cake Defense. It was a close-quarters, wave-based game with dozens of mobs swarming the cake that you stood on. It was widely considered as one of the best games at the time. Then Cake Defense 2 comes out and says, no, that game sucks. Cake Defense 2 improved every aspect of the first game with the inclusion of command blocks added in 1.4. The game was insanity. Now flash forward to about 1 week ago, I'm scrolling through the mineplex Discord server, and I see some people talking about a new game called Mob Arena. A few days later, I see a post on the mineplex forums officially releasing the game on the Bedrock version. I was a little worried because the last game that was released was Cake Wars, and we all remember how badly that turned out.
Instead of doing that, you just right-click the, you block it on the villager, and bada boom, you get everything that's inside of there.
What?
Mob Arena is much different though. First and foremost, the game is actually playable. In Cake Wars, you could barely move around without lagging to death. The game actually handles pretty well in the early rounds, begins to drop off as more mobs spawn in. But let's move on from the lag. The main question is this game actually fun? Heck yeah, it is. I've been waiting so long to see what Mineplex's new game would be, and I'm very happy that this game was released. It's actually amazing how well they've captured the spirit of old school disco. It's such a simple wave-based survival game, yet becomes so entertaining and captivating. The moment-to-moment gameplay is so fast-paced and exciting, which perfectly balances with the brawl-like nature of the game. The game automatically accounts for how many players there are, making more spawn if the game has more players in it, making it very fair and balanced to the number of players playing within. The waves are well constructed to give a brief early game, but rapidly increase in mob count the higher you climb, almost exponentially. Golden nuggets are the currency and are given out each time you get a kill, making progression very quick and satisfying. Unfortunately, you max out at basic diamond armor, and you are unable to enchant it, but you are able to upgrade your bow up to power 5. The cakes taunt you into camping one spot to tank a couple more powerful hits, while the golden apples dare you to keep running around the map with immediate regen. The map is nearly perfect in both size and structure to have a great experience within it. The small corners and crevices shelter mobs from view, making it much more difficult to read their attacks from afar. The closed spaces make sword fights very risky but rewarding, while the much broader areas allow for more casual bow fights. Varying ground levels entice players to gain ground above mobs and maneuver around them. Moving aside from those, one of my biggest issues is the glitches that still linger in the game. The first and probably most detrimental is the round limit. After reaching round 22 in one of my games, the game stopped me from progressing and forced me to play the same wave over and over again. At that point, the game just gets very repetitive. The other main issue is the mob counter. The counter works almost flawlessly, but in one of my games, it counted one too many creepers, forcing us to look around the map for 15 minutes or so without finding any and forcing us to leave. The last issue really isn't a technical one, but it's the skeletons. The skeletons are easily the most annoying mob because, hang on, let me break out the list. They lag tremendously. The bows don't move when arrows are shot, making it impossible to dodge. The movement is fidgety and inconsistent as they act more like a cow would. There are always groups of them, making it much more difficult to approach them in the first place. The other mobs aren't that big of an issue. They become increasingly difficult, but none are nearly as bad as the skeleton is. Although the hit registry for many of the mobs aren't questionable, the game is quite fairly balanced. Nothing feels out of place or misused. Everything feels necessary in the outlook of the game. It is just so much fun. I think the funniest part about the game is the fact that when you die, it says you die by the world. Mob Arena is the kind of game that anyone can pick up. It's a very free and open game with a little holding you back from just sweeping. In contrast to Zombies, Mob Arena offers a much broader amount of playstyles to make for an extremely entertaining game, as well as also having a very brief early game and a very fun late game. It's been a while since I've seen Mineplex make a wave-based survival game, and they surely did it right this time. If all of Mineplex's future game releases are this good, they will easily regain their player count. Now all we need to do is just add it to Java.